Hi, uh, I'm Eros. I'm a Biocleaner, and uh, I see Abdul. Hello, Abdul. Would you mind making the introductions, and everybody can just
Yeah.
talk a little about themselves and the like. I have here with me Renan, who's our director. It's okay, he's ugly, so you don't see his face. And then you have Tony, and Tony's the one who came out with us years ago with our slogan. And
First world planet.
a first world plan. So basically, what he's saying is that we do invest in sewage treatment plant in third world countries with no sovereign guarantee. So if you know of a town or a city that wants to do sanitation, we will invest based on certain criteria. Number one, we do not do pipes. We don't do canal pipes. Takes too long and all this digging and all that stuff. And it has to be sustainable. If there is nobody being charged for sanitation, we don't want it. If the sewerage board is not making money out of this, it's not sustainable, we don't want it. So basically, the sewerage board has to make money from this. The price has to be affordable to people. So there's a fine balance, because otherwise you have revolutions. And two, we do not want sovereign guarantee. It's a contract, and they have to help us with trying to get DFC funding, right? So for us, the funding is just basically a loan that the US government will help us get, still from the private sector. But we have to follow rules, that we have to follow the laws of the host country, and we have to follow the laws of the United States, right? So no bribery, no nothing, no nonsense. So we just want to be straightforward, and our prices have to be really low. And our formula is easy. Because of this, we need to have a low cost of capex, low cost of OPEX, and the lowest interest rates, which is provided by the DFC. Yeah. At the same token, we will not burden the host country with tons and tons of debt. So we do not want a country to have trillions of dollars of debt due to the sanitation. No, we don't want that. And anyway, so comments. Please, Abdul, please continue with your introduction.
Yeah. Working here on water and sanitation and a lot of wastewater recycling projects. And we have done about 19 projects with Biocleaner, and no sludge, no odor, and no vibrations or noise. And working in the food factory nowadays, and it's getting very clear with no sludge hall. With a major issue in the third world country is putting a lot of electrical energy, lot of sludge handling. And the issue is that once you put a wastewater treatment plant and you can't run it because you can't afford it. So you need a lot of money, recurring money, putting in wastewater and getting nothing. So here we have a lowest operational cost, and even our systems, 2 to 3 systems are running on solar power, and many lesser time than the conventional treatment system like sludge, activity sludge, or extended sludge. So the cutting edge benefit is not the putting wastewater or sewage treatment unit. It's how to sustain it, how you run it. And more you run, more you save your money. So this is with natural bioremediation, put biocleaner bioreactors there and clean the water. And this is the same, we tell the people that if you put on the nalas running, flowing or drain, you clean it, you get life back. And the clean water, algae is there, and then you see the fish or the prawns or the other life, healthy life come back into your catchment areas. And this is now up till we have done the treated wastewater, giving to plants, getting flowers, getting wood, getting lot of photosynthesis and oxygen for the mankind. So looks very good to a clean planet. And the first world, Pakistan, with Biocleaner and making the very good blue and focusing on blue and green economy. So this is all from my side. Yeah.
Yeah. Miss
Nice.
Jamal, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Songul Jamal. I am a founder of Marine Conservation Pakistan, and I operate by Ocean Quest Global. We're international organization that operate in 93 countries worldwide. So we solely focus on ocean, like removing ghost net and rescuing corals, building nurseries, propagating them, or creating habitats, providing skills for the communities, and basically creating ocean awareness, and do everything possible to kind of secure food sources. Obviously, food security is very important, and our fish declined severely in last 4 years. So, and it is in a level that someone has to get up and do it. So, for me, as a ocean organization, and we're field oriented, we're constantly on a field. We mostly in waters. So for us, it's very important to stop the root causes for our problems, whether the ocean pollution, and mostly it's the contamination and the cause for algae blooming. And it causing severe red tides that, like, the mortality is severe. And on top of that, of course, human health, obviously, because all that algae houses negative bacteria as well, right? So my questions would be, is what we need is the cost, because for me, the only thing that I can do as a person, I don't know what is needed for you to, as you said, like you can do, you search for third world countries. I understand that, which is perfect. If it can work, there must be some things that you need from us. But also on the side of it, let's say, like, take it, donation part is different, right? But as a business as well, like, let's say if we want to pay for it and what it's going to cost us that way. Let's say it's a 50 kilometer, as like 50 kilometer, how many of it, of the system, it would be needed. And as on a video you showed, it was a wide river. The Liari Nala is not like that. It's quite narrow.
How do you
And
spell
the
this?
Liari, Liy, no, Liayr, I think, Ri, something like
Not
that.
to worry.
Liari, yeah.
I have a hard time myself, so I understand why you would not spell it, because it's not an easy thing. I forgot also to introduce Angel. Angeline is our. Can you show yourself and give a small introduction, Angeline?
Hi everyone, I am Angel. I'm currently the BOT or PPP manager for Biocleaner.
Yeah, thank you. So we can go back now to your NALA. We have a NALA questionnaire, or basically our creek questionnaire. If you, what we do is if we have done cleanup of creeks in the Philippines and in China quite a bit. So many years ago, when China was just trying to put up all these sewage treatment plants, they had need to clean up dirty ponds and dirty rivers or dirty nalas all over the place. In India, we've cleaned up one nala also. This was in, there's a name for that creek also, but it's in Noida, India, which is a suburb of New Delhi. And right now we have an Indian office in Mumbai by Umesh, but Umesh is sleeping right now. Anyhow, so if you can think of it as a sewage treatment plant, your nala, where you put in all the drains, has to be treated and it gets out. You have 50 kilometers. We just know how fast is it going, so we'll know the speed. What's the width? What's the average width? And you can sectionalize it. What's the depth? And then the speed. That's all we need. And then we can try and forget about BOD/COD at this point. What you need is to get rid of odor. So typically nalas stink. So you need to get rid of odor because odor is very dangerous, right? So in an open nala, there are a few things that are really toxic. One is hydrogen sulfide. How bad is nitrogen sulfide? It's nature's way of telling you run, because you're supposed to run away from odor. Hydrogen sulfide of 10 ppm will, in a few minutes, make you lose all sense of smell, right? And then once you lose smell, it's your body telling you you're gonna black out in less than 30 minutes. Once you're in a stinky environment and then you lose all the sense of smell, you better have your spider sense tingling to run away, because in 30 minutes or so, you're gonna collapse. So over here, the US Navy every year would have sailors dying until they stopped it from cleaning their CHT tanks, or contain, hold, and treat tanks, and they stop cleaning it until they get to shore, and then they pump it, and now they have to go in with masks, and they do ventilation too, right? Because it's very deadly. Because once you faint, you're gonna die. Yeah. Number two, the other smell that you may smell is ammonia. Right. So this ammonium, they get there, and ammonia has 3 levels of toxicity. And if you have 150, that's already level 1. That's really bad, right? And you have 900. That's 3,000 is hazard level 3. That's not good. Yeah. And then after that, you have basically biogenic aerosols, because you'll have lots of contaminants, lots of pathogens in the nala, and you have wind. And sometimes these pathogens go to the wind, and then you get lots of diseases, right? This brings back, if you read the autobiography of Lee Kuan Yew, and he would talk, I'm old enough to remember Lee Kuan Yew giving talks. And he'll travel all over the place, and he will tell you about Singapore. And he says, his wife was a doctor, so first thing they did in Singapore was put up a hospital, I guess, so that the wife doesn't bother him too much. And then the wife says, we take care of these people, we cure them, we send them out, and in a few weeks they're back again, because you have no sewage treatment. That's why in 1965, after the hospital, one of the first things they did was sewage treatment. And I still remember when Singapore was a dirty little place. You know what I'm saying? Not everywhere had sewage treatment, and the river was dirty, and so on and so forth.
But now it's amazing.
Yeah, it was a poor place. It was a poor place then. That's a long time ago. Yeah, I remember my uncle telling me that, hey, you have a relative that escaped China, and they had to go to Singapore because they don't have enough money to get to the Philippines. So if you have no money, you go to Singapore. If you have money, you go to Indonesia or the Philippines. Imagine that. And now the world has changed. Now, only because they did a lot of, in his book, he also tells you the first advice he gave to Deng Xiaoping is to do sanitation. Anyway, and India has been amazing. They've been growing so much, and they put in sanitation. Another place where they started putting sanitation and did well is Vietnam. Yeah. And hopefully, in the future, Punjab. And Sindh, hopefully. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway,
like
so that's
nala cleaning.
so,
Yeah.
Karachi
thing,
needed here, emergency.
Yeah, but people have to pay for it, though. In Singapore, they force people to pay for it, but you have to make it like affordable, right? And so, but still sustainable. Like the government shouldn't be subsidizing this, because if they subsidize this, you're just in a world of pain.
True.
So it has to be sustainable. And again, the most important part of this, I guess, is the information campaign, telling people we need sanitation, we need to do this.
Yeah.
Many places around the world, we tell them we want to invest in sanitation, nobody wants us. You know what I'm saying?
It's a 50 kilometer.
Yeah. Oh, 50 kilometers. We have we'll do the, if you get us those numbers, we'll send you
Okay,
the,
there is it's a 50 kilometer and you ask about the flow. There is actually tricky because in some, let's say, one area, 1 kilometer, there will be a very high flow and then it stops. And then it goes very, very slow and then completely stops. And then it goes completely very, very slow. Like it has different flows from different, but it's the 50 kilometers already.
I understand.
But in
So usually we call that a quasi-stationary creek. You know, you don't have much flow because it depends on the rain and it depends on the flush toilet, right? That's quasi-stationary. So you just do that. You can segmentize that. If you're saying you want to do that, that's fine. But overall, you just get the parts that's doing the fastest. Maybe you can cut it into 50-kilometer segments. There are equipment which we can send you the name of the equipment you can buy on your own. These are flow meters. We have some in Mumbai, but it's not expensive. But the cheapest way is if you can get the popsicle sticks. You know, if you have ice cream, you have a popsicle stick. And what I do, this is early on, we just let it float and you count. Let's say you mark off, since it's quasi-stationary, you mark off a 10-meter segment, and then you put the popsicle stick and you count how many seconds it gets to the other side, the 10-meter segment. And that's it, right? And then you can measure you can segmentize it for the length and width and all stuff, and we'll take care of making that approximation, right? And so on and so forth. The good thing also with the Biocleaner system, these floating aerators, if it's the right size, the right depth, and all that stuff, then you can now have people donate by the unit, If you need so many units, and so on and so forth. But the first thing you gotta do is get rid of the smell. That's the number one thing. And number two, the appearance. So if you have garbage, get rid of the garbage. So you can put screens up for the garbage. And then if you have, basically you have sludge, and the sludge comes in two forms. One is the dead bacteria, and two is ammonium. The ammonium becomes nitrate, so you have nitrate material. You can get rid of it. But if you get rid of it, what landfill are you going to bring it to in Karachi? The other way is to just use the microbes to eat up the nitrates. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. And the funny thing with this algae, you're basically talking about HAB, right? Harmful algal blooms. They're typically cyanobacteria, right? Or ninja creatures. So they can consume BOD, or the sugars in the water. The BOD is basically the sugars in the water. And also they can survive on sunlight. So they're ninja. They do two kinds. And there's a third kind, and this usually happens in what they are called red tide. And red tide doesn't mean it's red. It could be several colors. And so the other kind of food that these creatures take in is they'll eat petroleum. And so that's why in ports and bays, they will grow also because of oil spills. They'll take that up and so on and so forth. And we know what to do to take care of that.
Yeah.
It's not just the algae, obviously. It's so much sewage. So at DHA we can do at Clifton, we can do small ones as well.
I'm sorry, it was kind of garbled.
Hello.
What did you say, sir, ma'am? Last 5 seconds.
I said like Liari, it's just the beginning because the whole city needs it. So first we install at Liari, then at Malir. And then meanwhile, obviously, we can propose to DHA because here at DHA, all over the sewage is so much, each canal, like ideally. And before they always were thinking about centralized system, we don't have infrastructure for it. So decentralized way is the best way we can handle this. Even if we handle it area canals by area, because there are so much of solid waste as well. And to remove all that solid waste first, then there is so much sludge. It's like a lot of sludge. And there are many things to focus on. So in the beginning, we want to start with the Liari that will spread awareness about it. Everybody will come to see the system. Everybody will start to offer, okay, I want for my area. Like there are many people, because we are in sewage crisis, like literally, like there is no place in a city without the odor of the sewage. It's crisis, severe
To
crisis.
the audience, DHA is Defense Housing Authority. That's like a housing authority. It's like a subdivision, I guess, in other countries. Is that right? Yeah. So again, well, Angel may drop by Karachi in the next few months, on her way to Lahore. Yeah, and so we could drop by there and discuss with DHA.
Can show her around as well, so she can see everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. But if you have the wastewater questionnaire, what we will do is, as you go through this thing, we're not trying to clean the COD per se. We're trying to get rid of the odor, lower cost, get rid of the sludge, and then try to get life back. So COD may be what they try to measure this, but in reality, what you want is the presence of life. And I don't mean the nasty kind, the kind of life that is also healthy for humans, right? So typically,
there is none in Nala. There is
I
none.
understand, but we're gonna get that when you put the Biocleaner system down. As we do that, we will then try to raise Daphnia in your river. So in your Nala, Abdul, what do you say Daphnia in Urdu? I guess you know.
Nala first order and the sludge.
Okay.
And for the river, yes, for the river, it needs whole rehabilitation. So the marine life comes back, the good one, even the healthy microorganism. Now it's kind of turning blackish, means dead, right? Same like ocean. When the water turns black, it means dead.
That's
there is
right.
nothing sustainable. So same is the rivers. And we have some rivers which are sweet water that comes into the city, and that is also contaminated. Like we need this units installed absolutely everywhere. So, and in order to start, we need to start from somewhere and create huge awareness about it so we can install them everywhere. And mostly we need to know how much it's gonna cost per unit, and then in how long it has to be maintained, how is the maintenance will go, what is the power, obviously, and how many of them we need per each areas.
Yeah.
And
so
that's how we go about it.
We will measure it out, but these are modular and portable system. So your main issue there is these things float, and so if a storm event comes, it just floats up and floats down. If there's a giant storm that want to push it away, just drag it back up and secure it. So you there's a way of securing it that we like. So if you tether it, at least 3 on each side. So you have 6 tethers. If one breaks, you still have 5 holding on to it. You know what I'm saying? So that this makes it secure. We have cleaned 2 creeks, one in Foshan, China, and one in Manila. And there were both storm events. And there in Manila, there were 6 different companies treating different nalas. And the other 5 all got torn away and threw out, and it was just bad. Ours, it was tethered away, it floated up, it floated down, it kept on working. Same thing in Foshan, that was dragged out, and then they just have to retrieve it, put it back on, and in 2 days, the river had no smell, the Nala had no smell, and the water was clear. You could see down to the bottom. And again, we hope you try this, and we hope you like it. We do have something special. Now that you mentioned it, our units are modular and portable, but we have a 20% NGO discount. That's because we get tax credits from that. You know what I'm saying? So if you are certified NGO and you're accredited,
Yeah, we have NGOs. Yes, we have
Okay.
NGOs as well.
So if it's accredited NGO and it's official, not just somebody who said put up a foundation as NGO. No. So if you do that, we do have a 20% discount on NGOs.
Perfect.
And the reason why we can do that is we do get tax credits from that, so on and so forth. Yeah. So
Win-win.
the tax code has not changed yet here, but if they do change the tax code, that goes out the window. So we'll work out on something. We can come up with a multi-year.
Yes, yes, we have NGO. Don't worry, we have a registered
Yeah.
proper NGO, and we have a governmental support as well. Don't worry.
And then the maintenance is minimal. You just don't want it stolen. Each unit just costs 2 horsepower, or when you start it up, it takes a bunch of power for a few minutes. Then it'll come down, and you can measure it. It's 1.4 kilowatt hour, 1.4 kilowatt per unit. Typically on a quasi-stationary creek, as you're mentioning, unless it's like turbulent, if it is normal quasi-stationary, we typically suggest 20 meters width and 100 meters length, 1 unit. Get rid of all the odor, and you do it in series. So after 50 kilometers, the water actually comes out kind of clean by accident.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having multiple of them, and everything will pass through multiple systems. By the time it reaches the end, it should be really good.
Relatively clean, because
Yeah.
people always ask.
No, actually, at the
CO2
exit, after the exit of from the older nalas, before it goes to the ocean, there is also a wet plant where all this waste goes into the wetland, and then there is also mangroves. There are other aqua species as well, so it is additional filtration before it actually goes to the ocean.
Fantastic. That's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Great. And so it's just basically that. It's modular
Yeah.
portable. So if a company wants to donate 1 unit, they can donate that 1 unit. The question is, who's going to pay for the electricity of that unit of 1.4 kilowatt hour day after day, year after year?
But can this be solar powered?
Absolutely, because it's only 1.4 kilowatts. The question is, at night, you may have to have an arrangement with a power company, generate more power than that, and then get a exchange with the power company, so at night this can continue to work. You need to make it on 24/7 in our experience, so that it's just easier. And at night you don't have sunlight. You see, sunlight has UV rays, and no matter what, they'll kill bacteria. So you want to, at night when there's no, you want it works more efficiently at night than the daytime.
Okay. So
Yes,
let's see what can be done with the power, especially at the each area that we are gonna install it, because we want to involve the community where we're installing, so they can guard it as well and spread awareness of why it's there and what it's doing, and in general for them to understand.
There's 2 ways about it. You can do the solar on your own, or we can install the solar for you. But it's much, in my experience, it's cheaper for you guys to put on solar. It's just easier, and then have a deal with the local power company.
Yeah, solar. We prefer solar. Yeah, we prefer solar. Yeah, definitely. So if we can have the prices per unit with the solar, if you guys install it or we install it, like what are the price differences?
These things are made to be. These things were designed so that people with a grade 8 education can put this down. And I always say that if you let an old man install this thing, and they can't make it fit, right? Because it comes to you in a kit. comes in a kit like a toy, like an IKEA thing, right? And so if you have a, let's say, a 60-year-old guy like me do it, and it doesn't fit, what are they gonna do? They're gonna fucking start drilling and messing with the system. But if you put a
I
kid
hope
in
not.
charge, yeah, but if you put the kid in charge, they know if it doesn't fit, it's the wrong hole, you know. And so kids.
No, but
that.
like, don't you don't like? What about here? You have your team here, right? And in Lahore, or how?
No, you can install it. It's just easy. Don't tell me you can't do it. You have a grade 8 education, right?
No, we can do it. Don't worry. That is not an issue.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Yeah. So it's just easy to do. It's made to be easy. It's meant to take a licking. So the 2 horsepower unit, we're basically using 70% of that, right? We need
Yeah.
the extra load, so less wear and tear. You know what I'm saying? You want less wear and tear, because if you're always near the load, the equipment will start breaking apart quickly. But if you're operating at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of the load, it's just more forgiving. And
Understood.
the electricity will still
Okay.
be the same amount because it's about the load. Yeah. And I hope you
Got
love
it.
it. Yeah.
Nice.
Most likely, most people will
Okay.
start with 1 or 2 units.
Yeah, I
or
hope so
one
too. I keep watching it. Yeah, so I'm excited about it. I'm very, very excited about it.
Thank you. Any more
Okay,
questions
thank you.
you may have, just let us know.
Question is, okay, when can we start? As soon as possible. So you tell me what I need to do, how we go from there. So what should I do before we start?
Angel will send you a quick questionnaire or NALA questionnaire. Some creeks
And
are
also, if
qualified.
you need documents from our NGO, anything like that, if you need, whatever you need.
Just a questionnaire, just very easy.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's just easy. And we will ask later on about the NGO thing aspect so that we can apply the 20%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. No problem. Done.
Thank
Okay.
you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
It was lovely meeting everyone.
Yeah.
Good night, Jamal.
Bye-bye.
Abdul, good night. Yeah. Okay.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.